I'm Carl Anthony, and welcome to AutoSens, the world's leading community for ADAS and autonomous vehicle technology development. We create best-in-class training, events, and information to connect engineers, scientists, and many other automotive industry experts across the globe. Today, we are speaking with Víctor González, who is the CEO of Anyverse. We spoke to Víctor during the May event, AutoSens Detroit 2022. We speak to him again now ahead of our Brussels event. Víctor, welcome back to AutoSens. Good to see you again.
Hi, Carl. Good to see you again. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
So, Víctor, give us a refresher. Tell us a little bit about Anyverse. Tell us some history of the company, and then tell us what you're focused on right now.
Okay, well, Anyverse is a new project that we started back in 2018 after 20 years of experience in developing computer graphics technology. The company was called Next Limit at the beginning. We just renamed it to Anyverse, actually. But our focus has been computer graphics and simulation for a long time, physics-based simulation for a long time. So in 2018, we decided to refocus on our strategy and as a company to develop this new platform based on accurate simulation of synthetic data and 3D scenarios for a wide range of industries and opportunities in AI and perception-based systems.
And so, Víctor, one of the key things that Anyverse offers is the sensor simulation pipeline. Give us an overview of what the sensor simulation pipeline is, and then what kind of solutions that brings to market.
Sure. At the time of developing a technology for synthetic data, and when we talk about synthetic data, you can imagine, there are many simulation tools in the market that can produce images. And that's probably the first idea when we talk about synthetic data. But there's one important aspect that we realized while we developed this technology is that the possibility to simulate not only the 3D environment, but the way the sensors capture the environment. Why? Because every sensor behaves differently from others. Every new feature in the sensor must be simulated properly. So when we talk about synthetic data, in our case, our approach is we want to have synthetic data that mimics the behavior of the sensors that our customers are designing or are configuring or installing in their systems. So that's why we focus very much into the specific conditions of how we simulate the components of an internal sensor in order to provide data that looks like the real world in that sense, how the sensor behaves and capture this performance and get the data in a similar way.
And Víctor, with that in mind, now just going a little bit deeper, Anyverse, and I'm going to read this verbatim because I think it's very interesting. So Anyverse, your strategy is to reach a wide range of industries through a flexible architecture and open paradigm. Anyverse, again, the strategy to reach a wide range of industries through a flexible architecture and open paradigm. Víctor, can you elaborate a little bit on that for our viewers? Tell us what that means.
Yeah, right now, when we talk about perception-based systems, autonomous systems based on computer vision, we found out that there's a lot of industries that are demanding this kind of solution. But today, there is no specific solution to reach that demand, to fulfill the demand from different industries and solutions. So we decided to create an architecture where every use case can be developed, not only by us, by our customers. The idea is that if we focus too much in one use case and we don't pay attention to others, we'll have just one part of the solution, we'll capture one part of the market. But there, as I told you, there are many other industries that are demanding this kind of solution. So having an open, flexible architecture means that our customers can developed new tools and new scenarios on top of our infrastructure in order to develop their own use cases, or even use cases that we don't know and they're going to happen in the future. So we have to have technology that allows them to do that in a way, not waiting for the for the software developer to do that for them. That's our vision, so to speak.
That makes sense, Victor. And you mentioned other industries. Obviously, we know your involvement in automotive, but what other industries is Anyverse active in?
Well, even inside automotive, we have a lot of demand from the in-cabin monitoring. It's one of the important use cases nowadays. But we have detected a lot of interest in environments like defense, security, inspection, retail. Those are probably the most interesting ones at this moment. If we talk about inspection, you can imagine a lot of different situations in the industry where you need cameras, smart cameras, or drones that are detecting, different conditions in the infrastructure or defects or situations that they need to be covered. And defense security is also another interesting topic these days for obvious reasons that are demanding more and more attention. So there's a lot of situations that moving from the automotive market into those markets, if the platform is flexible enough, is not so difficult. Because in the end, you have cameras watching environments that need to detect objects and take decisions based on that. So it's basically the same thing under different conditions, different scenarios.
Right. One of the things we've talked about in the past, Victor, especially with your open architecture, your flexible architecture, and your sensor simulation pipeline, is that for your customers, you have the ability to reduce the time it takes to get them to market, to shorten those product development cycles so that your customers can get to market faster. Victor, give us your perspective on that. Why is that important, and how does Anyverse help your customers get to market more efficiently and more quickly?
Well, most of the time we find that our customers are using real world data, and the problem with real world data, as you all know, is that it takes time to grab this data. You need to have the way of label that properly and correct those mistakes. And obviously, it's difficult to find typically the data that is more scarce, like for example, dangerous conditions, low probability conditions, that stuff. So it just takes months or weeks in order to have those batches in place. And typically, there's always data missing. The paradigm with synthetic data and this platform is you can do that in hours, in few hours, even in few days. You can craft your scenarios, look for the data that you want, and produce that data. And more importantly, if you can get into a iterative process, and this is one of areas that we want to focus more, is the idea of producing data step by step and make that more iteratively, so that the data development process and the AI development converges and merges properly. That's a huge advance comparing with how things are done with real world data. So it's basically shrinking weeks and months into days and minutes. That's basically the possibility with synthetic data.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Victor, I want to come back to something you said a minute ago. I don't want to skip over it because it is important. In cabin, what is happening inside the car? This is a big topic of discussion in the automotive industry today. Anyverse and in cabin. Tell us what you're doing in that segment of the market. Let's just dive a little bit deeper there. I know we mentioned it before, but I don't want to gloss over it. I don't want to skip over it. So Victor, tell us what you're doing as far as in cabin goes.
Well, first, there's a strong request from many companies to develop those systems as quick as possible based on regulation. Regulation is enforcing those systems to be in place in 2023, at least in Europe. Not sure about the US, but I think they're following the same model, and we have to get those systems as soon as possible in the cars. So basically, it means that there are sensors, there are cameras inside the car, watching and looking for different probably dangerous behaviors or situations that can lead to a dangerous or possible situation with the car. So basically, what we are doing is we are simulating exactly that. We are producing data sets with people inside the cars, 3D people inside the cars, and we are we are simulating the position of the cameras, the sensors. We are even simulating near infrared. This is important for night conditions, in which we produce enough variability of different poses, different position of the head, position of the eyes, in order to capture all the possible conditions that are going to happen and that need to be detected by those systems. And it's important that synthetic data is especially relevant in this topic because it's very difficult to do that in the real world for many reasons, basically privacy, but you can imagine having people from different, body shapes and skin colors and facial conditions in real is very difficult.
Victor, Anyverse Synthetic, the first version of your new data platform. Let's talk about that. What is Anyverse Synthetic, and are there any opportunities for early adopters?
Well, we are starting this new early adoption program, which means that people that wants to take a look at the technology can start very easily. We want to offer a free, option to start testing the application. And basically what we want is to have this first level of feedback from initial customers or initial testers to understand what are the missing gaps, perhaps for improving the technology even further. But what they can make for the technology initially is basically produce 3D scenarios and produce data sets, and obviously configure their own sensors to see how the sensor simulation can improve or can reduce the domain gap, comparing with just having other synthetic data solutions. This is an important topic that we want to test in the market as quick as possible. So yeah, we're welcoming any company or research team that wants to evaluate the technology.
So we want to encourage all of our AutoSens viewers to reach out to Anyverse and to visit the Anyverse website for more information. Victor, just before we close, I want to thank you for your time and thank you for sharing your expertise and your thought leadership. And from all of us here at AutoSens, we want to wish you the best of luck going forward, and thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for you. Thanks for everything, and I hope to see you again. Thank you very much.
For more interviews like this, subscribe to the AutoSens YouTube channel and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. For more information on our world-class events and technical training, visit auto-sense.com. That's auto-sense.com. In Detroit, on behalf of AutoSens, I'm Carl Anthony.